Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Will, and welcome to another installment of Things I Hate. It's been a while since I've talked about some things I hate, and I have some things that I hate, so we're gonna talk about them. Let's get started. I'll just say a disclaimer, I tried to make sure that these weren't in any of my videos, but did I really want to sit and rewatch them all? No. So if there's a repeat, there's a repeat. There's nothing I can do about it, but I'm pretty sure they're all good. So the first two things that I hate kind of go hand in hand. They're very similar, and they both deal with Facebook. First, when you make a happy birthday post for somebody on Facebook, and then other people just start commenting happy birthday to that person on your post rather than making their own separate Facebook post. It's annoying. Like, I'll make a Facebook post for my grandma, and then suddenly all my grandma's friends will be, happy birthday, Sharon, happy birthday, Sharon, happy birthday, Sharon. I'm like, that was my happy birthday post to Sharon, not yours. You can go on her timeline and write your own. Next thing I hate is conversations that are done solely on Facebook. I'm not even talking about Facebook Messenger. I'm talking like Facebook. Like, you'll just go right on someone's timeline starting a conversation, and then you'll keep the conversation going in the comments. It's just so weird to me. Like, literally, Facebook Messenger exists. If you have Facebook, you can have Facebook Messenger, and you can at least somewhat privately chat with them. You don't need to go the extra length of writing on their timeline and letting everyone you follow on Facebook see your conversation. And similarly to this, but not quite there, is then when people withhold tea on social media things. Like, if you post something on social media, but then other people start wondering about it, and then the person denies it. Like, for example, I've known several people who have posted things about their lives on Snapchat, like dramatic things, like they could be in the hospital, or they could be saying, oh, my life sucks right now. But then you reach out to them and they're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to say anything. And it's kind of like, well, then why'd you post it if you're just gonna withhold the tea? If you're gonna post the tea, serve the tea, you know what I mean? Like, one thing about me is that I'm an incredibly nosy person. I don't mind if you want to post all your shit, but if you're going to post it, at least be willing to give some background to what you're posting, you know? I know a lot of people get annoyed when people like post their personal stuff on social media in general, and sometimes maybe it's a little extra, but I get it, because sometimes you have to throw bait in the water to catch some fish, and sometimes people just genuinely need that outlet to express themselves, and that's fine, that's whatever. I just feel like if you're gonna post publicly, be willing to dish out the tea and explain to people what's going on, you know? I think it's okay to ask for help, but when someone asks you about it, talk about it. If you're gonna post about it, is all I have to say. I guess while we're on the topic of social media, I'll dive into this one, and that is that in this generation, TikTok is literally included in everything, and it's kind of irritating. Don't get me wrong, I love TikTok. I think it's an amazing social media platform, but I feel like in past like shows and things, you didn't go around mentioning Facebook and Instagram and everything. You don't need to sit and mention TikTok in every movie that's intended for like Gen Z or this coming generation. You just don't. It was mentioned in Wednesday. It was a small comment, so it wasn't that big of a thing in Wednesday, but they were still like, oh, like, you should get on TikTok. The movie with Maddie Ziegler and Jenna Ortega, The Fallout, I think it was kind of funny the way it was done in that, but like the kid was just like filming TikToks. It was done in the new Mean Girls movie. A lot of it was filmed in the perspective of like TikTok, like the opening song of Cautionary Tale, Karen's song Sexy. It was filmed like from a TikTok point of view and like showed TikTok comments on screen. I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me that every like modern movie just tries to incorporate TikTok. Oh, when I hear things about TikTok and movies, I kind of just cringe. The next thing I hate is movie spoilers and people who post about movies literally the second they hit theaters. Back in July of 2023, when the Barbie movie came out, I was excited to go see it with my friend Caitlin, but we weren't seeing it until about a week or so after the initial release. And I tell you, that week, I got so fed up that I had to delete TikTok until I'd actually seen the movie, because literally the second it hit theaters, people were posting about it, posting literally whole plot lines from the movie with no warning whatsoever. Like, they wouldn't even say, hey, Barbie movie spoilers. They just straight up go on and start posting like the whole plot. So I'd be reading it and I wouldn't even know it was Barbie at first, and then all of a sudden I know the whole movie before I sat down in theaters. Why am I wasting my money going to see it if I'm just going to see everything about it in the TikTok comments the second it comes out? How do people even get online and get to talking about it so quickly? I feel like there should literally be a rule, like, give a movie at least a week after it comes out before you start posting that stuff online, because not everyone can see it the second it hits theaters. Same thing happened with Mean Girls, like the release day. People were already posting about how much they hated it or posting little things about it. And I didn't want to see it. I didn't want my judgment to be clouded by everyone else's. And did I end up absolutely loving the movie? No. But I still wish that I didn't get all those other TikToks in my head the second it was released. I just wish people waited a little bit before posting about movies that just come out. Like, give people a grace period to see it before you start dropping everything about it. This next one might sound a little controversial to some people, so I want to be very clear that I am not trying to mock religion. But one thing I hate is the timing of like religious recruiters. I understand that it's part of their religion to try and recruit people, and that's fine, that's fair. However, the methods of which these people go to try and recruit you is borderline creepy. One time my mom and I were walking on one side of the street, they were on the other side of the street, and they yelled at us across the street asking if we had time to talk about Jesus. And my mom was like, oh, we're actually kind of busy right now, because we were. And he started like asking for our address so he could come back when it was a better time. And with all due respect, no matter what you're talking about, you're a stranger and I don't want to just give you my address so you can come talk to me at a later time. Or one day I was coming home from work and it was a terrible day. I was stressed out. I was irritated. I'd stopped and picked up food on my way home because I was irritated. I just wanted to be done. I clearly didn't look interested in a conversation. I was holding my food. I had a bunch of stuff in my hand because it was cold outside. I was carrying a bunch of stuff. I was just trying to get to my door, and this car rolls up beside me and goes, hi. So I stopped for a second thinking somebody needed directions or something, and I said, hi. And that's when they're like, do you have a second to talk about Jesus? And so I tried my best to politely say, not right now. And I kept walking, but I could tell that they were kind of upset. I've literally been on one side of a parking lot and had them like dash across the parking lot to talk to me. And I just think that that's weird. Once again, it's nothing about religion. I don't think I would talk to anybody about anything if they came at me like that. Not the way to do it. Okay, sorry if the angle's a little different. Next is young person privilege and kids either getting out of things or getting special things just because they're younger. For example, one of the bigger ones is when the youngest is expected to be allowed to help older children open gifts or blow out candles on their birthday because they're the youngest. Or they also get gifts on other people's birthday because they're the youngest. Because guess what? In life, being young doesn't always mean things, and I think it's okay to teach people that you don't get everything you want just because you're the youngest. And it just kind of, it discredits the older person's birthday or event or whatever, letting the younger person do that, or always letting young people win games just because they're the youngest. Now, obviously I understand some accommodation, like if a 3-year-old is like, hey, do you want to race? You know, I'm not gonna full sprint across the yard against a 3-year-old, but if you're playing a card game with a child, or you're playing a board game, or playing a, you know, I don't think you should automatically let them win just because they're the youngest, because that's not realistic. So many times I'd be playing games with my cousin when I was younger. I would be in my early teenage years and he would be like a toddler to young child. And like we'd be playing card games and he'd literally just get to completely make up rules and change the game so it'd always be in his favor. Like we'd be almost at the end of the game, I'd be winning, and then suddenly he'd be like, oh well, I can do this now, I can do this now. And in retrospect, it wasn't that deep. Like, did I really care if I won this stupid card game or not? No, I didn't. But it was still irritating just sitting there having the adults be like, oh well, he's young, just let him make up rules so he can keep winning. Because that's not how life works. Sometimes you just gotta take the L when you get it and learn to deal with it. But that is going to be all the things for right now. And I'll see you guys in my next video.